The year is 1870, and the sounds of construction are all around us. The architects of Mother of God Church in Covington, Kentucky are here, William Walter and William Stewart. So too are the contractors. Anton Blay and Brothers are bricklayers, craftsmen, and artisans of all types, diligently building this church. Everyone is closely following the finely detailed specifications for this magnificent new church building. Only 3 years ago, in 1867, John Roebling Suspension Bridge between Covington and Cincinnati officially opened. What a beautiful sight to behold. So too will be the new Mother of God Church. And just 5 years ago, the Civil War ended. Over 600,000 people died in that terrible conflict, and the nation is looking forward to a new era of peace, prosperity, and spirituality. General Ulysses S. Grant is President of the United States. President Grant knows the city of Covington very well. In fact, his father, Jesse Grant, lives in a neighborhood just to the east of Mother of God Church. Many German-American members of Mother of God Parish served in the Union Army under General Grant's leadership. German immigrants who settled in Covington established this parish 29 years ago in 1841. They are proud of their newly adopted nation. The church that they are building is a sign of their own prosperity, as well as an ornament to their city. Historically, architecturally, and artistically, the church building itself is a bridge between cultures. A prime example of Italian Renaissance Revival architecture, it echoes churches in Germany and Austria, but contains American symbols and technology and ingenuity. On the left side of the portico at the top of the steps is the 1842 cornerstone for the Mother of God Church. It has been included in this new church building, which was begun in 1870 and is scheduled for completion in September 1871. The inscription above the entrance portico says it all, Mutter Gottes Kirche, which is German for Mother of God Church. As time passed, the congregation would add additional features to the church, such as these statues at the entrance. St. Peter stands on the left and St. Paul on the right. The two winged lions are symbols of Jesus. The Greek letter Alpha is the first letter of the Greek alphabet, and Omega is the last letter. The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 8, refers to Jesus as the Alpha and the Omega, meaning both the beginning and the end. All of these statues are by the firm Meyer & Company of Munich, Germany. The bell towers are 200 feet tall. For centuries, bells have called Christians to worship. The West Bell Tower of Mother of God Church contains 4 swinging bells.
Hello, I'm Victor Canfield, one of the historians here at Mother of God Church in Covington. Our largest bell and second largest bell were both forged at the Niles Works of Cincinnati, Ohio in 1865.
The largest bell is 3,800 pounds, and the second largest bell is 2,300 pounds. The third largest bell is 1,100 pounds. It is a replacement bell for the one that cracked in the 1950s. It is from a St. Louis foundry and cast in 1936. The most significant bell is the smallest at 700 pounds. It was cast by Hanks McGraw of Cincinnati, Ohio. This bell has raised letters in Latin. The translation is, "For the German Catholic Church in Covington, Kentucky, under Pope Gregory XVI. Benedict Joseph, 1843, refers to Louisville Bishop Benedict Joseph Flagey. Pray for us, O Holy Mother of God, that we may be made worthy of the promises of Christ."
Inside, more sights and sounds await the visitor. From the organ loft and the massive Kunken and Grimm organ installed in 1876 to sweeping views of the nave and the sanctuary, to stunning sights of the 150-foot tall dome, the eyes and ears of the visitor are pleasantly overwhelmed. That feeling is intentional. Mother of God Church was designed to inspire images of heaven. Symmetry is one of the church's features. That is, the right and left sides of the church are mirror images of one another and naturally lead your eyes to the focal point of the architecture and also of Catholic belief. The crucifixion statuary group, located on the high or main altar, consists of hand-carved wooden statues covered by a thin layer of gesso, a kind of plaster, and then carefully hand-painted. Note that the hand painting utilizes atmospheric coloring so that the paint colors are not solid but vary in intensity with the three-dimensional details of the statues themselves. The statuary group consists of Jesus on the cross, hand-carved by German-American artist Ferdinand Muir in 1871. The statues of Mary on the left, the disciple of John on the right, and the disciple of Mary Magdalene praying at the foot of the cross were all hand-carved in Munich, Germany by Meyer and Company and installed in 1884. Behind the statuary group is a scene of Jerusalem painted by German-American artist Johann Schmidt in 1891. Before the invention of the electronic amplification systems, the ambo or pulpit of Mother of God Church was elevated on the front east column to enable the priest's voice to be heard. Later, with modern speaker systems, the pulpit was moved to the sanctuary floor. 4 of the pictorial panels in the ambo were hand-carved by German artist Karl Donnenfelser in 1890-91. In recent years, sculptor Jeff Swarty of Mother of God Parish has incorporated the original 4 panels into a stunning ambo. There are depictions of Peter's Confession, the Good Samaritan, the Lost Sheep, and the Prodigal Son. The communion rail of Mother of God Church was carved in 1890-91 by Karl Donnenfelser of the Art Joinery Company of Cincinnati. German-American artist Wenceslaus Thien drew the design work, which Donnenfelser then carved in wood. The symbols of wheat and grape represent the bread and wine of the Holy Eucharist. The original central gate of the communion rail was incorporated into a new altar facing the congregation circa 1970. 2 magnificent hand-carved angels, one at either end of the communion rail, were completed by Cincinnati sculptor Herman Brockman, also in 1890-91. The wooden St. Mary altar on the east side and St. Joseph altar on the west side were built in 1890-91 by German-American artists Frederick and Henry Schroeder of the firm Schroeder Brothers of Cincinnati, Ohio. The main altar has a wooden reredos by Schroeder Brothers, but its base was replaced with marble in 1902 as a requirement for official consecration of the church on May 14, 1903. Much of the interior artwork of Mother of God Church refers to the Rosary. The Roman Catholic Rosary is an esteemed form of prayer dating back to the European Middle Ages. An entire rosary consists of recitations of the Our Father prayer and repetitions of the Hail Mary. To accompany each Our Father, Pope St. Pius V officially established the 15 mysteries of the Rosary in the 16th century. There are 5 joyful mysteries, the 5 sorrowful mysteries, and the 5 glorious mysteries. Johann Schmidt, a German-American artist, painted 5 large murals on canvas across the front of the church. These 5 murals, completed in 1891, represent the 5 joyful mysteries of the Rosary. The Annunciation is center left, the Visitation is center right, the Nativity depicted overhead, the Presentation is on the right, and the Finding of Jesus in the Temple is on the left. The 5 sorrowful mysteries and other passion symbols were painted using abstract symbols on the arch of the apse of the church in 1890-91 by ecclesiastical artist Wenceslaus Teen. To the left and right of the crucifixion statuary are 2 identical panels painted by Wenceslaus Teen. These intricate and finely rendered panels contain 5 meticulous and introspective symbols woven into a tapestry-like form. They represent the 5 glorious mysteries of the Rosary. The symbols start at the bottom and proceed upwards to the top. As such, they read like a column in architecture, from its base at the bottom to its capital at the top. Each of these symbols is highly abstract. Further, each symbol is highly integrated into the symbol above it through a complex set of artistic patterns. Lighting the massive interior of the church are enormous stained glass windows, whose brilliant colors form a tapestry of light that changes throughout the day. The realistic details play off the light streaming through the windows. The effect is almost three-dimensional. The stained glass windows were imported from the firm of Meyer & Company in Munich, Germany in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. Meyer & Company evolved from the Royal Institute for Glass Painting, which was created to preserve and resurrect the largely lost medieval art of stained glass making. This firm, still in business, became well known throughout the world for what has been called Munich-style stained glass. The actual window arrangement within the church building is the consequence of systematic forethought. For example, the windows focus on the life of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and the patroness of this church. As you face the front of the church and move your eyes in a counterclockwise direction, they are arranged in chronological order. They begin with the east transept window of the Immaculate Conception, and then proceed along the east wall, and then to the opposite west wall, and conclude with the west transept window of the Assumption. Further, the subject matter of each window on the east side has a relationship to its companion immediately opposite on the west side. And finally, the top halves of the windows in the main body of the church depict events from the New Testament. The bottom halves contain scenes from the Old Testament. Below the Immaculate Conception window is a statue of Saint Bernadette. Bernadette Soubirous of Lourdes, France, experienced apparitions of Mary, the Mother of God, in 1858. The statue is placed here because Mary identified herself to Bernadette as the Immaculate Conception, the subject of the window behind. Today, the shrine at Lourdes, France, welcomes millions of tourists annually who seek the curative powers of its holy water. Connections with the past, such as Lourdes, were very important to the parishioners who built this church in 1870-71. The statue of the Sorrowful Mother was hand-carved and imported from Germany by Meyer & Company of Munich for Mother of God Church. It stands upon a carved wooden pedestal purchased from Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church in Cincinnati when that parish closed in 1989. The marble shrine of Our Lady of Perpetual Help was the work of the international ecclesiastical design firm Frederick Pustet Company, with offices in Switzerland, New York City, and Cincinnati. Installed in 1932, the shrine altar includes a painting of Our Lady of Perpetual Help, an official copy of the miraculous original in St. Alphonsus Church in Rome, and a gift of Pope Leo XIII to Mother of God Pastor Reverend William Tappert during a private audience in 1882. This image was touched to the original, blessed by the Pope, and is considered miraculous, especially on the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, December 8th, as well as the Feast of Our Lady of Perpetual Help on June 27th. The Shrine of Our Lady of Perpetual Help also contains the tombs of Reverend William Tappert, pastor of the church from 1879 until 1907, and his brother, Reverend Henry Tappert, pastor from 1907 until 1929. Reverend William Tappert was influential in German-American Catholic immigration nationwide. As president of the German-American Priests Society, Tappert spearheaded the building of Leo House in New York City in 1888, to assist newly arrived German immigrants. On the walls of the narthex are two paintings of the brother pastors of Mother of God Church, William on the left and Henry Tappert on the right. Both were painted by Anna Shea in 1904. She was a Covington artist and portrait painter, born in 1868 in New York to Irish immigrant parents. In 1929, Frederick Pustet Company designed a marble baptistry for Mother of God Church. This included a marble altar, baptismal font, and railings. The altar features an exquisite mosaic of the Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. Circular mosaics of the four evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are at the corners. Above in Latin we see Spiritus ubi volt spirat, meaning the Spirit blows where it will, derived from the Gospel of John, chapter 3, verse 8. The marble baptismal font contains beautiful carvings of the four evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The tomb of Reverend Edward G. Klosterman, pastor of the church from 1930 until 1961, lies next to the baptistry. Alongside the side wall of the shrine, the stained glass window appropriately depicts the baptism of Jesus by John in the Jordan River. The standing angel holy water fonts of Carrara marble were imported by Frederick Pustet Company. They have been welcoming visitors to the church since they were installed in 1921. The Stations of the Cross are 14 exquisite paintings by the noted Swiss artist Melchior Paul von Deschwanden. They were placed in the church in 1872. The 14 Stations of the Cross begin on the west side of the church and proceed to the back of the church, then wrap up the east side. The columns in Mother of God Church serve as a structural purpose in holding up the trusses and roof of the church. In addition, they are ornamental, manufactured in Covington. The columns are cast iron and covered with gold leaf. The columns in the nave are topped by plaster capitals in the Corinthian style. Two columns at the juncture of the transept and the nave have massive composite capitals, combining both the Corinthian and Ionic styles. Literally, from the floor to the ceiling, Mother of God Church is replete with artistry. The Metlock tile floor in the nave, imported from Germany, was installed during a renovation in 1920-21. The ceilings and walls of Mother of God Church are covered by litanies or poetic prayers that celebrate the life of Mary, whom Catholics believe is the Mother of God. The O Gloriosa Virginum in Latin is located over the two large transept windows. The Ave Maris Stella, also in Latin, is on the ceiling. Both of these were the work of Wenceslaus Teen in 1890-91. The Litany of Loretto in German is curved over the nave windows. This is the work of Cincinnati-born artist Louis Kragenhagen. High above the transept of Mother of God Church, in four triangular areas leading up to the drum of the dome, called pendentives in architecture, are paintings of the four evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Internationally known German artist Wilhelm Lamprecht painted these authors of the four New Testament Gospels in 1871. In the drum of the dome at Mother of God Church are 8 church fathers or doctors painted by Wenceslaus Teen in 1890-91. These a secco works, that is, paintings on dry plaster, suffered damage during the dome fire of September 25, 1986. They were subsequently restored, attempting to preserve as much as possible of their original trompe-l'oeil, meaning trick of the eye, effect. The term church doctor is used to recognize specific theologians and their contributions to church doctrines. 4 of these fathers or doctors were from the Western Church and are therefore called the great doctors of the Western Church: St. Ambrose, St. Augustine, St. Jerome, and Pope St. Gregory the Great. The 4 other doctors were from the eastern realms of the old Roman Empire, and hence are called the great doctors of the Eastern Church: St. John Chrysostom, St. Basil the Great, St. Gregory of Nazianzus, and St. Athanasius of Alexandria. In the 21st century, Mother of God Church still inspires visitors, as it did when it was first built in 1870-71. Its massive bell towers and dome have been beckoning visitors, guiding riverboat pilots, providing the time to passers-by, calling parishioners for services, and letting those in need know that inside lies a congregation committed to being Christian. In its long history, Mother of God Parish has been an incubator for schools, soup kitchens, and facilities to serve the homeless and abused, a place for Alcoholics Anonymous to gather, a home for those who feel alienated by society, and a family where your value doesn't depend on your title, how much you earn, your affiliations, or any other human artifice. Instead, you'll find a heart that celebrates all that is human, and as this video has shown, all that is beautiful and divine.